Welcome everyone. We will be talking about operation management in this particular video. This is the basics of operation management. I will just introduce what operation management as a subject of study is all about in this presentation. So the agenda is very simple. We will define operation management. OM stands for operation management. We will explain what exactly is operation management, the role of operations in a business, and when we talk about business, I will slowly and introduce the terms of productions, manufacturing, or services as consumption period, as the case might be. We'll describe the decisions that are there, which one needs to entail as an operation manager to keep things goes on going smoothly within the business on a day-to-day basis. Describe the differences between service operation and manufacturing operation. Remember, there are operations like mining operation, also excavating. In fact, that has been clubbed under manufacturing. So basically, broadly, there are service sectors and the production sectors or the manufacturing sectors that we'll talk around it. And definitely, yes, I would like to establish a timeline of the development of this particular subject called operation management. Essentially, the current trends that is there, that is ruling the roost. Believe me, when we will be talking about the timelines from the historical representation from 1900s till date, you will see there are phases, and I'm sure in next 100 days, operation management would encapsulate a lot many changes thereby. So describe the flow of information between operation management and other business functions. But first, allow me to define operation management, the basic function responsible for planning, for coordinating, and controlling the resources needs to produce products and services for a company on behalf of a company for the consumption of its customers or clientele thereby. So that function is known as operation. It's the day-to-day operations or management or execution of tasks which entails planning, coordinating, and controlling thereof. Operation management, therefore, means understand is a part of management function. It is an omnipresent functions of the management as it is happening around it. It is essentially the core, the heart of the operation of the organization, the core function of the organization. In every organization, be it service, be it manufacturing, be it profit or non-profit, without operation management, the life in the organization cease to exist. So here we go about an operation management chart. Now, typically, the head or the chief executive officer or the president or some company says as let's say the administrator or the director, the chair fellow, chairperson, as the way you want to go around it. So we have an organogram presenting it to you onto three verticals or three functional divisions of marketing, operation, and finance. Remember, marketing brings in the revenue, finance manages the revenue, operation is what has a big tight control over the flow of production, flow of sales, flow of revenue, flow of cash thereby. So we have a vice president of marketing, we have similarly a vice president of operation and the vice president of finance. Everybody's responsibility is very clearly stated out in this particular organogram for your understanding. Remember, the marketing gentleman or the lady is looking at the customer demands. They will generate sales, goods, and services. Whereas finance, the vice president of finance, manage the cash flow, the current asset, and the capital investment thereby. Operation VP, the Vice President of Operation, manages people, manages equipment, manages technology, manages material, manages information. And you look at it, it is the whole gamut of operation that goes around it. Without people, without equipment, without technology, material, or information, nothing will work in a smooth fashion. So that is the importance of operations, the vice president of operation to produce goods and to produce services. So let us understand the role of operation management. Operation management essentially is with the task of transforming the inputs into outputs. The input can be people, input can be material, input can be capital as the you want to go around it. So there are resources, be it men, material, and money, or people, material, or capital, the way you want to pronounce it. Whereas, what will you do with these inputs? these inputs are to be come out as a finished products or a services thereby. So yes, the previous chart which I wanted to give you a pictographical representation, and if you want to look into it, this is the input that goes about your men, material, and money, or should I say human resource, facilities and processes, technologies and material. There is something called transformation, and this is completely an operation management job which transform into an output in terms of goods, in terms of services. And look at it, the organization would be bountiful, resourceful, profitable only if there is something called a communication flow which goes in the form of customer feedback, in the form of performance information, as the case might be. This is what we are looking into it to add value, is to increase product value at each stage. Value added is the net increase between output product value and input material value, as the case might be. Yes, we are talking about an efficient transformation. Efficiency means performing activities well for at least the possible cost, as the case might be. This is what we are looking for it. Manufacturing versus the service industry. Now, what I am trying to do is I am trying to highlight the role of operation managers or the operation management both in the manufacturing and service industry, and let me contradict it also. So in a service industry we are talking about intangible product which will be contradicted by the manufacturing industry in the subsequent. Just wait for a few minutes. I'll come to it. So service industry is all about intangibility. You cannot touch it, you cannot see it, you cannot, but always can feel it, experience it, enjoy it. Products cannot be inventoried, high customer contact, short responsive time, and labor intensive. This is to be produced. Why this is labor intensive? Because the services are produced and consumed simultaneously. There cannot be stored, they cannot be mentioned or archived as such. Whereas on the service manufacturing thing, it is contrasting the service industry altogether. Manufacturer will have a tangible product, will have an inventory of product. They can store the product as on when on required. Thereby there is absolutely low customer contact, if any. In fact, in most of the cases, the people manufacturing the product will hardly come in contact with the end customers per se. Yes, there is a longer response time. Yes, it is not akin to the service industry where the services are consumed as and when the services have been produced. So yes, there's a longer responsive time, and it is, since this is capital, since it can be inventoried, means it can be stored. So it means it is a blockage of capital, and therefore it means that it is a capital intensive story all the way around it. Now let me focus it out to the similarities of services and manufacturing. Both use technology, both have quality, both have productivity, both have responses issues. What I wanted to say out here is the metric. Quality metrics is there, productivity metric is there, response metric it is there. You need to understand, if there are no metrics, if things cannot be measured, it cannot be managed. So both needs to be forecasted, the demand around it, or at least predict some sort of tandem prediction that can comes around, which helps you to mitigate unforeseen circumstances. Both can have capacity, can have layout and location issues, and both can have customers, suppliers, scheduling, and staff issues. Thereby, this is amply clear for you to understand in this particular slide. Now, service versus manufacturing. Manufacturing often provides services, whereas services often provides tangible goods. So they are basically scratching each other back. So what does it mean? Manufacturing, probably produce an air conditioning unit. Now, air conditioning company will be producing the air conditioning unit and would be selling it out. Eventually, it will get sold off and it will come being installed in a retailer's home or premises, whatever the case might be. But that air condition requires an annual maintenance contract to be serviced on an annual basis, cleaning and ensuring that the gases are duly filled in and things like that. What am I saying? What am I stating? Is this annual maintenance contract is nothing but services that the manufacturing industry is to be bound to give. Similarly, a service industries will give certain products for per se. Maybe in a restaurant, it's a food that you deliver. Maybe in a telephone calls, you might be giving the clarity, tangible goods, or certain data packs that comes around it. So some organization are a blend of services, blend of manufacturing, or should I say quasi manufacturing organization as such. Let us understand the quasi-manufacturing characteristics include the low customer contact, and they are very much capital intensive. This is to be done, understood, and thereby noticed thereby altogether. So growth of service industry, how do we pronounce the growth of service industry? Remember, over a period of time, way back from 1961 to 2008-10, what I've noticed around here, if we look into it, the products producing has increases manifold and is in geometrical leaps and bounds. It is increasing day by day, and in fact, on the other hand, the manufacturing industries are on decline as such. Why so? Because of automation. Service industries have been, a lot of manufacturing industries have been automated altogether. So now the service industries are human resource intensive. So service sectors are growing 50 to 80% of a non-farm jobs, global competitiveness, demand for high quality, huge technological changes is happening, time-based competition that we are talking about it, and workforce diversity. This is the point that needs to be taken into accounted for altogether. So operation management decision, what are the decisions that goes around it? Remember, first decision is the very broad decision as to should we go ahead with the business or not. The strategic decision sets the direction for the entire company. They are broad in scope and long term in nature. This strategic decision actually plays a pivotal role for the years to come, or should I say decades to come, for the organization. Operation decisions are the decisions which are specific, let's say being technically oriented. Technical decision, or should I say tactical decisions, are based on day-to-day operation, day-to-day issues like resources or allocation of manpower, raising of funds, probably scheduling and quantities to produce, and so on. So they are on a daily basis and as frequent as possible. Operation management decisions has to be taken. Strategic decisions are less frequent because they have a long-term impact, whereas tactical or strategic decision must align with it time ago. So operation management decision, if we go around it, the strategic decision are broad in scope, whereas tactical decision are narrow, absolutely on a short-term basis. So strategic decisions are long term in nature, whereas tactical decision absolutely short term basis, as I was already said it to you. Strategic decision have an impact across the organization, is all encompassing, but the strategic decision, or should I say tactical decision, is the other way around of strategic decision, which concern a very small group of issues. This needs to be worked around. Now, did I say that I will be talking about the historical development of operation management way back, seen late 1700s, late 1700th century that we are talking about? Industrial revolution started in the United Kingdom or Great Britain. Then probably the gross manufacturing, then manufacturing of textile products started out there. But in the next 200 years, then came Frederick W. Taylor's as early as 1900s, wherein probably things change altogether. So we have been talking about 1790, 1780 industrial revolution start, and across the scientific management started is at 1898, 1902, 1904, 1906. But then in way back in 40 years later, look at the stark difference, approximately a centuries, and then it gets reduced by one third. By in another 30 year odd years, human relation movement started. Then probably it has been further been reduced by another 10 years. In 20 years, changes happened in the management side. Advent of computers absolutely reduced by 10 years, and it is frequently moving out, and we seeing a lot of changes from computer age in 1960s, environmental issues in 1970s. Then we have the just in time or total quality management which predominated the 1980s as such. Right now we are into computer aided management or artificial intelligence or machine learning that we are going across it. But then these are yet to happen or in the process, in transition. What I am stating out here is the historical development of operation management. Remember, re-engineering started in 1900. We have this global competition in 1980s, flexibility in 1990s, time-based competition which was just in time, been on service, been on delivery, having nothing in the inventory, supply chain management, or should I say lean manufacturing, electronic commerce, e-commerce as the case might be, outsourcing, flattening of the world in 2000. And I have already stated of AI, I have already stated of computer aided management, CAM, CAD, computer aided design. I've already started of by machine learning. We are talking about blockchain data and things like that. So today's operation environment, operation management environment, the customers are requiring value for money. In fact, demanding value for money, demanding better quality, greater speed, and lower cost. Companies implement lean system concepts, a total system approach to efficient operation, recognize the needs to manage better information using enterprise resource planning or ERP or customer relationship management or CRM system as the case might be. We are talking about increased cross-functional decision making with everything. Now I'll show you what is in practice being done. In fact, operation management is one of those study which has the most diverse spread across the organization function. It is actually managing the transformation process altogether. We look at it, the names such as VP operation, directors of supply chain, manufacturing manager, plant manager, quality specialist, all are integrated part of operation management. These, without them, the organization cease to exist. In fact, they are the part of the organization, the core part of the organization. All business function needs information from operation management to in order to produce their task. Let me give you a basic information flow. Remember, this is information requirement that goes around it. Essentially, what is it that we are looking at? We are looking at marketing part and the finance part. Remember, the finance part is arranging of money, but who is going to keep an account of the money is in the accounting part that keeps around it. Remember, finance, be it accounting, be it marketing or engineering, essentially comprises of people or the HR part. Now, everything needs to be accounted for. The business information flow from the marketing team. We can have the customer demand, customer feedback, need for new product. Similarly, from operation management, the current operating capabilities, inventory level, output rate, they are looking into it. What I wanted to stress around here is operation management. Look at it, it is a core part. They are managing the complete show, the ambit of activity that the organization is entailed into it. It is the information system that flows around and kept around, being stored and inventory. Finances, on the other hand, is all about capital investment plan, capital requirement. The operation management will keep on telling it to you. The financial people will going to say about the financial measure, the budget, the stockholders requirement, say it and we have it. Similarly, for accounting, it's the current performance measure, billing information, process improvement. This is what we are going to take around it. Operation designs and design requirement is all about engineering, product specs, or specifications, technological trade-offs. Similarly, for human resources, the labor requirement will always be told to the human resource department. The human resource, on the other hand, will partly share of the labor skill availability and the cost thereof. So, operation management is throughout the length and the breadth of the country as the organization. If you want to go around it, most businesses are supported by the function of operations, marketing, and finance. The major functional areas must interact to achieve the organizational goals. Operation management, always do not lose a core part of it, is fully integrated towards the customer need. If they do not understand what the operation can produce, finance cannot judge the need of the capital requirements. If they do not understand what the operation concepts wants, what are the requirements. Yes, so the information system enables the flow of information across the organization seamlessly. Human resources must understand the requirement of the job, the skill requirement of the job, the affinity of the job, the efficacy of the employer or the employee thereby. Accounting needs to consider inventory management, capacity information, and labor standards. thereby I would love to come to an end with the summary of the next two slides that comes around it. Remember what I've stated. Operation management is the business function that is responsible for managing and coordinating the resources. That is what is true. The role of operation management is to transform organization inputs into companies' products and services. Operation management is the only department which is responsible for the whole gamut of decisions ranging from strategic to tactical. Organization may be divided into manufacturing, may be divided into organization, service organization, but that it only differs as far as tangibility of the product and services are concerned. Rest, more or less, is the same thing which an operation manager has to go across to it. The many historical milestones have had happened. I have just showed you right from 1700, where early 1700s, where industrial revolution started around it, to the exact machine learning or computer aided design, computer aided management, or artificial intelligence that which are taking place, the e-commerce sites that they are going around it, the whole gamut of things that we have seen. Some of these are industrial revolution, scientific management, human relations, movement, management science, computer aid. Operation management is highly important functions in today's dynamic business environment. Among the trends with significant impact are just in time, total quality management, re-engineering, flexibility, time-based competition. Remember supply chain management, global marketplace, and environmental issues. Operation management works closely with every business functions. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.